Arguing for the end of adult marijuana prohibition is easy because we have facts, science, reason, compassion, evidence, truth, and logic on our side. It is even easier when researchers catalog it all for us. Learn how to gather the facts on marijuana use, arrests, seizures, rehabs, drug tests, and more in this edition of Drug War Data Mining. Welcome back, everyone. 22 and a half after the hour, and oftentimes we have to face opponents who say there is no medical utility to marijuana. It's a Schedule I drug on par with heroin and acid. And today we're going to use the Drug War Data Mine to disprove that in big, bold ways using the U.S. government's own information. There is a great website called PubMed. Now, its long address is ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/PubMed, which, of course, is the worst possible address you could have, but that's the government for you. Don't do that, folks. Just go to Google, type in PubMed, all one word, PUBMED, and you will find the link. Now, PubMed is from the National Library of Medicine and the National Institutes of Health. And when you get there, there's just a very simple search feature, kind of like Google, says PubMed, and you can click in there and you can type in whatever it is you want to search for. They're going to be calling it cannabis in the medical literature. So if you start typing cannabis, you'll notice you get cannabis, Russ, spell it right. There we go. You get the cannabis in there and you start to find all these other fill-in suggestions. Cannabis cancer, cannabis psychosis, cannabis schizophrenia, cannabis oil, cannabis sativa, cannabis effects, cannabis withdrawal, and so forth. Anything you could possibly want to know. But if you just want to see everything that is stored in the U.S. government's PubMed database, PubMed.gov is another way to get there if you want a quick address. Type in CANNAB, cannab, and an asterisk, the universal internet and computer wildcard. That should just give you everything that's cannabis, cannabinoids, cannabidiol, anything with cannab in it. Give that an enter, and you will come back with 26,409 results. That's right. Our U.S. government's database contained 26,409 results on studies that involve cannabis in one way or another. Here's one just published 2 days ago, November 17th. Cannabinoid receptor 2 agonist attenuates pain-related behavior in rats with chronic alcohol, high-fat diet-induced pancreatitis. Now, reading this kind of stuff sometimes requires that you get a degree in some of this stuff. It can be kind of high-end stuff to try to understand. But if I'm reading this correctly, it's a study on how cannabinoids may moderate pain for obese alcoholic rats with pancreatitis. So, it's something you might want to run by someone with a little more expertise, a Dr. Mitch type or something, but there is a lot to be found in here in this database. Here's a physician's primer on the pulmonary effects of legalizing marijuana. The effects of cannabidiol and delta-9 THC enhances the anti-cancer effects of radiation in orthotopic murine glioma model. This is the study that all of the newspapers have been quoting lately on how cannabis kills brain cancer and helps the radiation treatments that you do on brain cancer. So right there, you can go straight to the source and read it for yourself. Now, other things that are interesting to find when you're looking through PubMed is that they have a whole bunch of filters that you can use. Over on the left-hand side, right now we're just getting, every possible study, 26,000 of them. But we can find these by various filters, like, are these human studies? Are they within the last 5 years? Because, let's say your data is too old. Well, click 5 years. That will add this to our filter. And out of those 26,000, we find that 8,700 studies have been published in the past 5 years. And we can add to that, let's go with the ones that have just got the direct research support of the U.S. government in the past 5 years. And there are 1,700 studies that have the direct research support of the U.S. government published in the last 4 years. And let's just narrow it down to just humans, just to be sure. All right, for ones that have been done on humans, supported by the U.S. government and published in the last 5 years, we have 917. Changes in driver cannabinoid prevalence in 12 U.S. states after implementing medical marijuana laws is one of them. How interesting. Prescription drug monitoring program studies. Intracellular cannabinoid receptors decrease dopamine activity. You know, I'm no scientist, but this looks a whole lot of medical to me.